Check this out.
Hello.
Hey,
I don't know.
can everyone hear us?
I'm getting
Can you see
extra
us?
steps in. Bonus steps for walking backwards. Can we make that a feature? Cool. What's up, everyone? It's been far too long, but thank you all for being here. Thank you all for everything and supporting us and keeping us going and growing and motivated and excited to keep building alongside all of you. It is May 5th, Genopets Town Hall, coming to you live from Esoterra. I don't know. Anyway,
Yes.
you guys have a lot in store. We have a lot in store for you guys today. Really excited for all the turnout. Lots of awesome questions showing up in Discord. Really fun things to come here shortly. Ben, I love your turtleneck. Albert, I love your hat. For those guessing or who have been around in the past, you know that's sometimes a wild card, but Albert does have hair, and it looks quite nice.
Well, I didn't wear a hat for the last, I think, 2 town halls, so I decided to wear a hat today. And there's a special story to this one, actually. A month
Which
ago,
hat?
Jay and I were. It's the Solana hat, and a
Oh,
month
it's that
ago,
hat.
Jay and I were in the Solana office in San Francisco, and Anatolia was like, "Hey, you want a hat?" And then he gave me this hat, so I was like, "Oh,
It's
awesome!"
very random. I was
I'll
like, how about
wear
a
it.
saga phone?
Somebody asked, where is Kevin? Kevin is with his family on. He's visiting his family right now this week in the Far East, so he's not able to attend, but he's doing very well. So
Here in
he'll
spirit.
join us.
Yeah, definitely sending love to Kevin. I'm sure he'll appreciate that he was called out and missed. He may even be watching at dinner with his family, but yeah. Cool. All right. We have.
They're saying that you're moving
EU
like
backstage
Mike
is trolling
Tyson.
us right now. Like who?
You're moving like Mike Tyson, dude.
Like Mike Tyson. Oh, because I've got my arms like all weird. Okay, can we take a minute? We need to figure out how to like get swag out to the world. I think that should be a goal of the next phase too. We need more. I've seen a lot of like community swag popping up. I always wear a Genopet shirt and wish I could be sending them to all of you. This is one that we made for consensus. It says "Proud Parent." It's got a Genopet on it. We could post the design if anybody wants to cop one. But yeah, I'm Zach. I just started walking this morning, so I haven't really gotten any steps until we started here. But I will. Yeah, we should probably do that. Guess my steps by the end of town hall, and we'll do another giveaway for something. I don't know what yet. We have tons of giveaways coming. You guys saw the Bitcoin baby one. And we've got more, so stick around. Cool. I guess we have 2. Surprise. 2 Bitcoin babies are coming, plus a bunch of augments. Augmentation, obviously, happening recently, leading to lots of fun. But let's go next slide, Eunice. Let's dive right in. I'm going to start, I guess, with the agenda. I know we're all fancy this time. We got a recap of what's been happening recently. I'm going to share some insights, just like learnings and things that we've been thinking a lot about since almost 2 years, just about 2 years. Ben, you texted me over the summer back in 21, and you were like, "Hey, I have this crazy idea. Let's do this thing called Genopets." And I need to look up the exact date, but I'm pretty sure it's just about 2 years.
It was end of May that we had the first call, Jay. I remember like when you're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing with Genopets?" That was like end of May, so it's almost 2 years. And we registered the domain like a month or 2 before, so we're already past 2-year point on the domain and the Twitter handle. You can probably see that.
2 years. For those posting steps on YouTube, it's going to be really hard for me to find that. If you want to guess my steps, do it in Discord. Maybe if there's a mod or somebody listening that can start a thread for me while I'm talking. Just start a thread that says guess Jay steps, and everyone post them there so we can find it. And yeah, we'll do that there. So I'm going to share some insights, just things we've been thinking about over the past 2 years, kind of the way the story has evolved. And then we're going to go through a roadmap update, what we've accomplished, definitely what's coming next. We'll cover seasons, Genopet seasons as well in there. And then, of course, land on Q&A. Anyone that's asking a question that gets answered on Town Hall is going to get some augments today. We've got 2 babies up for grabs. We'll tell you where the second baby's coming from soon. And we'll get started. Next slide, Eunice. I need to walk faster. I'm not going to get any steps unless I pick up this pace. Cool. Bitcoin baby drop. That was a fun one that, if I'm going to be really honest, kind of happened out of nowhere. Albert and I were talking over lunch with the Magic Eden team around the time of GDC. Orders have been getting a lot of noise. We just, both thought it was really interesting that Bitcoin, especially a blockchain that, or a community that was generally very against NFTs, or not, they're not against, but definitely didn't expect NFTs to end up on Bitcoin, really started embracing it and a new community was forming. In parallel, at the same time, in talking to Magic Eden, we're just thinking like, wow, like no one has really kind of embraced this from the gaming space yet. How cool would it be to be one of the first, if not the first? I'm pretty sure we landed being the first. Pretty historical moment. First game on the original blockchain. We're definitely not moving chains or migrating. It was never going to be about that. But when people ask us about multi-chain, one of the things sort of Albert always says is like that the assets should always be interoperable, but the core program logic will always stick on Solana. Did I quote that right, Albert? I think it's right.
100%. 100%.
Program logic. I use engineer words. So yeah, we're not moving chains. What it was though was a really exciting opportunity to be a part of history and the first game on ordinals, and of course, reach out and branch to a new community. With the supply of Bitcoin NFTs or ordinals generally being very, very low, and we wanted this to be a super special drop. I'm pretty sure only our community ended up getting them. We sold out in seconds, well, relative seconds. We all know those that were there that minting an NFT on Bitcoin is not that easy compared to Solana. It makes you appreciate Solana a little bit more. But yeah, we sold out faster than most of the free mints that were happening on Magic Eden, which is pretty fun. As you guys know, limited edition collection, 300 babies. Interesting tidbit is they're inscribed on the chain forever as babies. So unlike Solana, where you can update the metadata, it's actually just always going to be the baby. It will, of course, evolve in the app. In the marketplace, it can look like it's evolved. You can update metadata there. But yeah, that's a fun fact of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And of course, this
on chain, it's basically a birth certificate on chain.
Yeah, it's a good analogy, Albert. Birth certificate on chain. And of course, next slide, Eunice. Soon to be playable in game. Somebody asked this in beta, and I dropped the screenshot. This is from one of the engineers that's working on getting babies in app. You can see, like, I know we could have just easily drawn this, but this is actually proof of life screenshot from a phone with a baby on it. The baby is only yellow at the moment, but the texture, or golden, the texture is the next thing coming. I think maybe Ben could speak to textures a little bit more. Maybe we'll talk about that more at the end. But textures is a new concept in the game that just doesn't exist yet in the art. So the babies will also be the first pets in game to actually have a unique texture. Next slide. Babies are trading. They're live on Magic Eden. Although I'm pretty sure nobody's trading them because everyone wants to hold them. The floor is looking pretty good. There are almost 200 unique owners, most people holding only one. Of course, we did reserve 100 for treasury, essentially to give them away. I think it's going to be fun to have these over time. We're never going to make more. So we did reserve quite a few that we'll be giving away like in moments like these, and expect a lot more of that over time. these babies will be a big part of the future. Next slide. Okay, recap other stuff happening. Of course, Augmentation is live. This GIF, Ben actually put together. When was it, Ben? We found the exact date yesterday.
So it was, I think,
probably
November.
October or November,
November
2020. Yeah.
November, so like right in the beginning of when we had this idea, Ben was like, how cool would it be if we made NFTs that you could change all the parts in? Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. Maybe he didn't say it in those exact words. But this GIF was born, and there's a really cool soundtrack behind it. And bonus points to anybody that goes and digs up the tweet. It was around November 21. But we've actually realized this vision now. Augmentation, launching, changing, customizing, colorizing, what's the word? Your pet. Really, really, really fun. Look, I'm definitely not going to be running right now. I'm struggling enough as it is, just walking at this pace. I'm going not that fast, but yeah, going. Cool. Next slide. With Augmentation, we of course completed a new road. This was a very intense road. There are so many stops. We have a new road 2 coming. I won't spoil Albert's surprise. It is going to be not quite as many stops, but definitely just as exciting. Some stats on Augmentation, 26,000 plus augments. This is as of like 2 days ago, so maybe it's a little bit more now. 26,000 augmentations have been done to pets. Over 10,000 players partaking in Augmentation. Interesting thing there, like, as you guys know, only a subset of the player base actually even has augments. We did drop some, in the game to everybody, but it's fun to see the adoption starting of a new feature. In that, like, just to put some frame of reference, we've had over 3 million crystals minted by players and combined to create 150,000 augments, which sounds like a lot, but 150,000 augments actually isn't even enough for every player to get 2. So there's definitely going to need to be a lot more augments in the future, especially as the game grows and scales. But even as of today, it's not enough for every player to get 2. So let's see where that takes us. Next slide. Cool. I think, okay, next slide again. Awesome. We just talked about this a little bit, but the game's obviously been growing. We're still in whitelist beta, invite codes, referrals. You guys have really been helping out with that. One of the interesting things that we've been seeing as the game is growing is actually not everybody wants to be on the Web3 side of the game. This is going to take me into the player-owned economy and a little bit more of the background on the way the game, our vision for the game is really kind of rounded out. And what's making us different and sort of, our unique approach to Web3. But what we're seeing actually is less than 10% of the overall player base wants to be on the own sort of sell, earn side of the game. And we have a ton of people in the mobile app that just download it for the fun of being the game. My mom and little sister don't care too much about crypto, but they definitely love their Genopet. And it's going to make for an interesting dynamic when we start talking about marketplace and who's going to be the ones, wanting to sell, create, be the merchant side of the game, and who really just loves their Genopet and wants to customize, upgrade it, and play with it like they do in any game. But yeah, go to the next slide, please. Next slide. I wish we could do this ourselves, but there's a restream thing where like only the host can click the slides. And that takes me to the player-owned economy. If you could go back. Yep. I think this is one of the things that, we started out last 2 years ago being like the move to earn game, which is taken its course. I think much more recently or definitely as of late, we've been thinking a lot more about the wider sort of implications of this game and the way we've designed it. And the term we're really, or I guess the concept we're really, really getting excited for now that we've seen it through with crafting and augmentation is creating this player-owned economy. What does that mean? It's very different from, the typical approach of most Web2 games, certainly a lot of the Web3 games as well. To an extent, we have some ownership over the way the mechanics and economy of the game run. but player-owned economy really ultimately comes down to the supply and the creation and a lot of everything happening with the assets within the game or the game items ultimately coming from you, the players. I tweeted this a while back, but like I think honestly ownership in Web3 games is useless if players don't control the supply. If as a publisher we're making all the things and selling them to you, why do they even need to be NFTs? That was a big part of why crafting had to be a massive part of our roadmap. Why even back to like our Genesis Genopet and Habitat mints, it's always been up to you, the players, the community, to decide how many Genesis Genopets actually got made. So a few eggs got left behind. How many habitats got made? Definitely enough combinations of crystals, combos of crystals to get to 5 as you solve those crazy puzzles Alkali put together. Was up to you, the players, to decide what are the elements, what are the colors of Genopets. I always make the joke that like the black Genesis Genopets ended up being the most common because that's just what everybody wanted. Fun facts, putting the power in your hands, rarity, supply, all those things ultimately come down to you. Augments created by players. If there's demand for a certain augment, it's going to be up to the player base to decide, should I make more? What price should it sell? Yeah. Extra bullet point to that one. We aren't just minting and creating augments to give away. When I say we're giving away augments, we're actually crafting ourselves, and we have a crafting treasury with a bunch of habitats in it that basically run augments every day so that we can build up our own supply of things to give away. And maybe, we'll end up taking some off market as well too one day. We have been buying habitats off market as well to supply that because we can't just mint those either. But yeah, that's the concept of player-owned economy, something that we're really kind of bullish on as the future of Web3 gaming. Ownership really will matter the most if you can find ways to give players control over the economy.
And more control.
Cool. Up next.
More on that later. More on that control later.
More on that later for sure. That too. Next, Eunice. All right, giveaways. We promised some giveaways. Want to be really clear what they are and when they're coming. The first one is from the tweet. We're going to pick one question off the tweet, or one question, from a like, save, retweet, and somebody that's shown up in the town hall. I'll just drop a name later. Stick around for all of these. Also announcing that we have a TikTok now. It's at GenopetsMe. And Eunice, are you on the next one? It's at GenopetsMe. There should be one more slide, or didn't this land? At GenopetsMe, at GenopetsMe, at GenopetsMe. Post that everywhere. Someone stole at Genopets. I know who it is. We've been talking to TikTok, trying to get it back. But at genopets.me. For those of you out there, look for it. We'll post there. Follow us. We'll pick a follower on the TikTok to make sure we get. That's exactly what's happening. Eunice, if you could go ahead and just do that now, it's fine. But yeah, that'll be the next one, and then we're gonna give away augments to everybody that asks questions that we answer today. I know it's actually really difficult to be doing this while walking this time. Like usually I do casual calls or just like fun Q&As, right? Talk about whatever. But it's a little bit harder to be doing the town hall while walking, but I'm going to keep going. Sorry if I sound a little bit rambly. Go ahead, Albert. I think this one is yours.
Yeah, so roadmap update. As you guys probably saw earlier, as of last week, we completed the road to Augment, and that is basically 80% of our phase 2. So just as a reminder, this is what phase 2 looks like. Please, next slide. So what phase 2 is what we call the whitelist beta phase, and that's when you can still you still have to get an invite code in order to play the game. You can feel that it's getting easier and easier to get invite codes now that we're releasing more referrals to players. At the end of phase 2, we're going to remove invite codes, and then we're going to be in full public mode. Now, phase 2 includes 80% of it is road to augmentation. What is coming for phase 2 is complete challenges and earn achievements and battle in turn-based P2P mini games. There's going to be some changes. We're going to make phase 2 shorter, end it earlier, so then we can close whitelist and start focusing on growth. So with that said, this is what it's going to look like. Next slide, please. So we will start phase 3 with PvP battle. And instead, we're adding marketplace to the end of phase 2. And with that, we have our final road that we'll be working on, and that will be shown after this slide. So public beta will be in phase 3 after we launch market.
Can we pause for like 1 second? I think we need to refresh the Google Slides. It's not working.
Okay.
You just maybe pull us off. Okay, cool. Yeah, just to double click on that one really quick because there's like a change happening. Not a huge change. We're gonna end phase 2 earlier so we can close whitelist beta. We need to start focusing on growth. We're gonna pull invite codes. There'll still be a lot of benefits and reasons to invite your friends in and bonuses you can earn from bringing your friends into the game. Definitely stick around or look out for a much more robust referral program. But the reason we're doing that is basically, or what we're doing there is splitting battle sort of into 2 phases. We'll have a battle V1, step battles, more on that from Ben here shortly. And then we'll have a battle V2, the true turn-based PvP battle everybody's dying for, will kick off the top of phase 3. That's kind of how that's playing out and where we're going there. The TikTok's back, Genopets.me. Go follow us on TikTok if you want a Bitcoin baby. And yeah, I don't know what's happening with these slides.
Yeah.
Let's
the
go
slides
forward
have to be
a
refreshed.
couple.
Okay. Let's go back to the roadmap. Yeah, as Jay was saying, there will be 2 phases in battle, basically. And phase 2, we're still going to do battle. We're calling it battle phase 1. We're also calling it a battle light, but we're also calling it step battle. So let's go to the next slide.
Okay, we need to pick a good name. Step battles, battle light, battle V1.
I think I like step battle.
It's called step
I
battles.
like step battle.
It's called step battles. Are we making that official? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
It's called step battles.
cool. Next, please. All right, so this is the new road to end phase 2. Augment stats coming very soon. We have those in review now, and we'll probably publish it when Kevin comes back early next week.
Yeah,
After that,
we're
we
calling
have
this the road to market.
Road to market. Reroll and expedite's coming, and those are crafting features. Crafting features are right now you can create items, but you might not get an item that you want, or it's taking too long. You can spend gene to expedite, or spend gene to reroll to get a second chance at a possibility. After that, there's Home V2, which is a complete revamp of what the app looks like in order to add all these features in. Right now, we don't have enough space. As you can see, like the bottom tabs are basically full right now. Then we have in-app augment recycling. That is to burn augments for more augments or burn augments for other stuff that will be coming later. And then we have in-app purchases. This is just basically the ability for you to start purchasing things directly from the app itself. That this enables 81% of our player base who don't actually participate in the Web3 side of the game to be able to be the demand side of the economy. We think this is huge, and this definitely needs to be live before we go to public. The last
Can we double click on that real quick, Albert? The 81% number. Just to like really, I kind of started saying this, but I think just it's really worth emphasizing that like we're taking a very different approach to most Web3 games. You don't have to have a wallet and buy NFTs to play this game. You can download the app in the store with an invite code and just love your Genopet and play with it in the mobile game like every game. A subset of the player base, that 19% that Albert was referencing, who's like of the daily active, monthly active users of the game, are those that are sitting in Web3. If you go look at our contracts on any of the online on-chain analytics platforms, you can see Genopet's actually one of the top most active contracts in all of Solana, but that's actually only represented from a small fraction of the player base who's playing the Web3 side of the game. And we actually see that as a good thing. We don't think everybody needs to force the Web3 at the start of the game. We want you to learn, understand, be ready for, and sort of graduate into the earning merchant side of the game. So yeah, that's where that is, and the marketplace is going to be a big unlock for that, bringing together the mobile side player base and the Web3 side player base, the merchants in the game.
Yeah, that's the biggest
Thanks, Albert.
insight that I think we learned in the past 6 months, which is, the player base is growing and, doubled in the last few months, and most of that is actually just from, the Web2 side. I think onboarding players to Web3 is a huge part of, how to make games in this space successful.
Yeah,
Anyway, so step battle, I think with after step battle ending, we'll end this road within the actual marketplace, connecting automatically between the in-app purchase and what's on chain. So all of that liquidity will come from people who don't know how to set up wallets, and eventually they can become Web3 players as well. That's the goal here. And last thing here on step battle is that this is going to be, Ben is going to get into the details, but it's going to be augment related. So your stats and your augments are going to play a part in step battle, and this is why we believe this is the first step into getting competitive play and in the right way. Ben, go ahead.
awesome. Yeah, I think just one more thing. Looking at the graphic, we will tweet a full version of this. We may add like a couple little things in between here, like the challenges aspect and streaks, other things that sort of make in between spots. But some of this is still in play. Look out for the official version to land on Twitter. We'll announce it everywhere when it's live.
Cool. All right, next slide, please. So, step battle, what are we talking about here? Step battle, which we're very, very excited about, it's basically like Fitbit challenges, but with the Genopet twist. In step battles, you'll be able to invite your friends, who then you can go on a challenge with them to see who can bank the most amount of steps over a period of time. In step battles, your augments will give you an advantage, like Albert said. So the way that you would win a step battle is based on your battle score throughout the course of that, and that battle score is made up both of the steps that you bank throughout the period of the battle, as well as what value your augments are going to give you. So you're going to want to augment your pet and make it very competitive to give you the biggest advantage as you are playing against your friends. So what you're seeing here on the screen is our updated home screen, which I'm going to get to in a second. But you can see here that they've got a couple of battles that are upcoming. And once you're in there, you're going to see that your pet is moving, and you're seeing all the other people are moving along. So it's a battle in the form of a race. So it's a competitive, it's a fighting race. And from there, you can see all your opponent's augments. You can see your own. And you can see there that there's Genopet stats. So things like attack and speed are going to play a part. So with that, moving on to the next slide. PvP battle. I know you guys are all very excited about this. We are just as excited. So what you're seeing here is our back-end sort of testing, automated testing, not automated, but programmatic testing, where we've loaded in
the engine. We basically built the battle engine. And it's web-based right now, and that's how we're testing it internally. Once we get this to a certain stage, we will be able to release this to DNA members and gene stakers and supporters to test out, to connect their account, check their Genopet out, get all the move sets, and then play against each other. We started playing against each other already about like 2 weeks ago, and one of the things that we realize is that, or everyone probably has realized, battle is not just about creating the UI and UX, right? Like, as this is the biggest part of the game, which requires a lot of balancing. So play testing is a huge part of it, and this engine will be how we test it. So can't wait to roll it out to you guys.
Awesome. Next. And of course, marketplace. So with all of these battles and competitive social features that are coming out, you're going to want to be able to get a bunch of stuff to make sure that your pet stays happy and winning. So things like augments and items and other goodies, all the things that you can craft will need to be accessible to you. So that's what the marketplace will be for. Like Albert was saying, this is a place where from the phone, it'll just appear like any other marketplace on any other game. But in our case, we're doing a lot of really cool advanced piping, bringing Web3 products directly into the game for you to be able to consume seamlessly without you needing to deal with any kind of fancy crypto stuff. So really excited about that. Albert, do you want to speak any more detail on the marketplace aside from that overview?
Well, I saw a question saying that is it like Magic Eden on the app? The answer is yes. The idea is that one of the biggest barriers of entry to Web3 gaming is just setting up the wallet. Basically, you just start having people fall through. Most players of games in general don't really care about the ability to make money, and they just want cool things for their pet and cool items. So having a really familiar experience will allow us to capture that market. Not to mention, one of the biggest thing here is that that's how you make games, NFT games, compliant with App Store and Google Play Store policies. That's one of the things that people haven't really mentioned that much, but a lot of the Web3 games cannot be fully compliant on mobile until this happens. So once this happens, you qualify for multi-platform, which means that players can still buy. We can start advertising in the app like, oh, you can buy on other platforms too, on our website or on Magic Eden, and that's okay. But if you don't have in-app purchase and you start saying that, you can actually get taken off. So that's why this feature is so important.
Yeah, this is a big one. Like, just to kind of keep double clicking on you guys. First of all, the Spasic, I think asked that question. I said it earlier. We're gonna wait till questions at the end, but anybody whose question gets answered is gonna win an Augment. If you're in Discord, find a moderator, say something. We'll find you. Look for Eunice at EU. So we can make sure you get your Augment. I guess you're the official first winner or something on the town hall. Other winners coming soon. Stick around for Q&A, and we'll be giving away more Augments as we go. But yeah, this is a big one. This is how my mom and little sister that know nothing about crypto will start to buy the things being sold on Magic Eden, like point blank. No one else is doing this. Never been done before. We're not about seed phrases and forcing wallets and crypto into the app. Apple and Google don't like that. It's also not the greatest user experience. But with dollars or your local currency in an in-app purchase, you will start to be able to be the buy side of what's happening on Magic Eden. So this is kind of coming back to that point I was making, right, about 150,000 augments, a fraction of those for sale on Magic Eden. There's way more players in the mobile app that are about to be able to buy all those things that are sitting on Magic Eden, and we'll see kind of what happens there with the market dynamics of player-owned economy when it drops.
Yeah, and just to be point blank about, there's another question here that says, "Hey, will Apple App Store allow it?" The point blank answer to that question is Apple App Store will only allow it if you have this. So the answer is yes, and it's actually quite extreme.
Whoever asked that question, make yourself known. Do you see the username, Albert?
It's Tong or something. Yeah.
If you ask that question, come
TC
find us in Discord.
Yeah. TC Tong. I just like I'm not reading every comment because it's going so fast.
Sweet. But yeah, I think that making that point there is like, this is the only way the App Store is going to approve marketplaces in apps. It's the way all other games work, or crypto marketplaces and apps. We've had a lot of conversations with Apple and Google around this, and it's pretty clear this is the only way to go, and it creates the best experience for users. So that's what we're here for and been about. Excited for that to come next. I guess this is technically a bonus in phase 2.
Yeah, Ben,
did we say phase 2 was going to have marketplace?
Yep. Moving on.
Yes. Yep. Moving on.
Next slide, please. Awesome. So like I was saying earlier, we've got a whole lot of new features coming out. We've got all the battles, we've got all this extra stuff. So where is it all going to go? We had to update our navigation to support everything. So we are rolling out a new home screen UI. So when this appears. Don't get shocked. But it is featuring these oversized hexagon style buttons to make it easy for you to access everything that you need. I'm really excited about this. It'll give us a lot of space and set the foundation for all the new features coming on the pipe. So really excited about that. And that is the end of the visuals here. I'm going to pass it right back to Albert to talk about seasonal crafting and some other stuff.
Seasonal activities. Yeah. So as we are ending phase 2, we are starting to become a live game. And that means we need to have seasonal activities. We'll start breaking down our game into seasons. The exact length and when it's going to start will be announced later. But these will include, next slide, please. It will include things like releasing new colors, and that would that would be done by combining crystals to make new colors, either color crystals that are currently existing or new combinations. Those are very exciting stuff that we anticipate to play around with. Burn commons to get to reroll. That's probably coming soon. We saw a lot of discussion about this on DNA, and we think it's a great idea. We may make it a seasonal thing. So just to make sure it's the experience isn't changed too much of a regular crafting. And as mentioned earlier, reroll and expedite for crafting, that will be launched pretty soon.
Can I please just double click on the DNA comment there? DNA, for those that don't know or are new to the community or have forgotten, core role, premium role in the Discord that can be earned by being an active, helpful user on the server. I guess it's probably been about 2 years since we launched DNA. It was a really early thing we did on Discord.
We did it about October, so we still got
October.
It's like a year and a half, but yeah, good stuff.
Interesting, because it's a role you have to earn. You take a short quiz, you get voted by people in the community for being active. You see stars showing up next to your messages. You're basically accruing votes to get into DNA, and Whitaker will automatically grant you the DNA role. Important announcement that landed on the server, just to double click on here for everybody. We're going to do a DNA down rank now, and if you're not active and staying support and basically not staying active in the server and continually being helpful, you can actually lose your DNA role. So there's going to be a DNA prune for those that haven't been active recently. Look out for that on the server. You will announce more. You can blame Whitaker when it drops. It's always something you can earn back. So don't fret. Don't be too upset. We wanted to make it more of a lively sort of existing first form of even governance on the server, really run by the community to decide who gets to be in that crew. We spend a lot of time there. It's an important organic part of the server, community driven and grown. Next slide.
Yeah, so more coming on the seasonal releases, textures, as mentioned earlier. That's going to be a big part of customizing your Genopet. The first texture, obviously, is the Bitcoin baby texture. That's no longer going to be released. That's only for Bitcoin babies, but in the future, we're going to have other textures. Also, augments. There's going to be different types of augments that's going to be dropped every season, and you will discover them through crafting updates. Same with colors. We mentioned that earlier. You can craft probably new colors by combining color crystals and also discover new recipes. Lastly, this is something we've been talking about for a while, but once the seasonal content is finalized and we begin, gene stakers, depending on voting weight, will get airdropped a lot of these seasonal releases. So that's definitely coming. Oh, I see. I see a question about governance, but we already have this coming up. So, if you noticed earlier, I said control a player-owned economy. More on that later. This is what it's about. Since the beginning, Gene was supposed to be used for governance. we've been busy building the game, but even late last year, we said around middle of this year is when we'll actually get started on that. So Eunice is putting together a proposal to get a governance forum started. It's going to happen in a few phases. The number one phase is we're just going to take snapshots for a voting weight. We're working on the API for that, and then Whitaker can just do it. And when you have sufficient voting weight, you can, or any voting weight at all, you can participate in the governance forum. One of the things that we've noticed in recent months is that the DNA channel and all the channels actually, game suggestions, are full of treasures, and people have really good thoughts either against or for certain ideas. And since the very beginning, anything economy related, we want to be ultimately decided by the players. So we've seen a lot of questions over the last few months. We're not ignoring them, but what are some more sync mechanics we want to introduce? We're introducing everything on the game side of things, but you have even better ideas of changing how emissions work, all those things. And in the next few weeks, you're going to be able to discuss this on the governance forum. And then immediately following that is when we can start having votes. But for in the beginning, we'll probably just make it very informal in the way that everyone can have discussions, everyone can give their viewpoints, and then voting will come later. The proposals and discussions will be actively reviewed by our team, and eventually the goal here, the big picture, long-term goal here, is that voting will be programmatic and change parameters on chain. This is the reason why all our on-chain programs are built this way, with all the settings that can be viewed by anybody who understands blockchain, because ultimately these settings can be changed by the community. So very excited for this. Would love to hear your thoughts. And that is it for me, I believe. Unless there's another slide. Is there another slide?
I think there's one more. Oh, nope.
There's one more
There's
thing.
one thing for me, though.
Yeah.
So, Eunice, you can go to the next slide. Before we end this, I did have something to interject, which is that we've been really hard at work to take the visuals of the pets to the next level. We've updated our render to include all kinds of fancy stuff like subsurface scattering and ray tracing. We updated the materials. We changed the cinematic light and made the lighting a lot more cinematic. Since the beginning, you know, if those of you who have been along for the ride from the very beginning on our website, the way that the pets looked from the very beginning was always the vision and the goal that we wanted. And so now finally, I think we've taken a really big step in that direction. We are using this new render to update the images on the marketplace and in the stills in the app. So you can see before and after here. Next slide. You can see, yeah, so I'm going to show you a couple of these. So you can see how the pets are looking. Sorry, Eunice, I'll tell you. Yeah. So you can see how the lighting is working here. Before, we've had to kind of be a little hacky with the lights, where we had like bloom, but now the lights on the pet are actually emitting light, which is giving it a lot more of a mood. Yeah, moving on. And we've done some, next slide. We've done some color grading as well to make the colors pop a lot more, so everything is looking a lot more juicy, maybe even a little bit edible. Not that you'd ever want to eat your Genopet. Next slide. Yeah, definitely mochi looking. Next slide. And next slide. So particularly in this instance with the subsurface scattering, you can see how there's a lot of like opacity and the light filters through in a much more dynamic way. So real excited for you guys to be.
I'm going to say, sorry, Restream is just not doing, or YouTube streaming is not doing this justice. Ben's definitely going to have to drop these in the Discord server in like full high res. For you to really see what this is looking like.
And I just want to tell you guys there, even if you can't see it in its full glory, it's coming to all your marketplace images. So your NFT artwork will be getting an upgrade soon.
Yeah. Sorry, friend.
No, it's fine. Look forward to Discord. And that's it from me.
Awesome. Cool. We have about 14 minutes left. I think it's giveaway time. Let's do Q&A and go through questions. I grabbed a bunch of questions off of the server that have been showing up over the last however long the channel's been open, to make sure that it wasn't just people asking questions real time right now, as well as the winner off of Twitter for the first Bitcoin baby. Let me start there. And then we'll also take questions live that we just see showing up in the YouTube comments, or on Discord, as well, for some more winners before we run out of time. Cool. So first one, the Bitcoin baby winner, first Bitcoin baby winner. Remember, the second Bitcoin baby winner will go to somebody that follows us on TikTok at genopets.me on TikTok, just like our website URL, but it's on TikTok. Don't follow the fake one who stole at Genopets. At genopets.me is the one that you will win. You can win a Bitcoin baby from. But the first Bitcoin baby winner is going to go to Xander Aticha, Azrael from GOE. Oh, we always see you on Twitter and in the server. Congratulations, sir. You asked, could you tell us a bit about the Genopets lore? How is the lore development progress? Will you consider letting Genesis habitats have the ability to change its elements? Let's look in the first half of that question and talk about lore. It's something we haven't talked about in a long time. I know Ben has a lot to say there, even where some of these graphics came from in our backgrounds.
Yeah, what I can say about the lore at this point is we are quite far along. The full story from beginning to the end in terms of its framework and where we want to take the player is defined. Major characters have been defined. It is a journey that is about, or it's a story about a journey in healing, and it's a deeply metaphorical story. All the characters have a lot of meaning and symbolism, a lot of themes, a lot of metaphors, but ultimately it's a story about what it means to overcome a lot of things that we have to confront and deal with in life, told in the form of a children's story, in a fantastical world. So besides that, if I were to talk more, I would end up talking for probably another couple hours, which I'd be happy to do. In fact, seeing who's into it, we might just do like a pure narrative call where I can kind of talk people through the story. And
story time with Ben.
Yeah,
that's gonna trend so hard on the server.
Maybe I'll do an audio book for you to fall asleep to, the Genopets story. Right. See if anyone would pay for that. Did that answer that question fully?
I think so. Cool. Let's jump through some other ones. We got 10 minutes left here. Let's see if we can speed run through 5 to 10 more questions. Gathis asked, another winner. Congratulations, Gathis. We saw this one on the server. Common augments and habitats increase in quantity as years progress. How will you combat oversupply of low-value crafted items? That's probably an Albert question.
Yeah, I think one of this is where augment recycling comes from. It's one of the first steps we're taking to do this, and it will probably take the form of in-app. So we want new on-chain burn mechanics to be proposed by the community. But for in-app, we want to also create loot box experiences. So especially with Marketplace coming, if you have 5 common augments, you could probably combine them in the app to get an uncommon. And that will also be a random uncommon, for example. Then we also talked about recycling for less energy. We got to make sure the math is right on that one. But otherwise, I think for most of these, we'll just add. It's funny that you pick Gathis because I think he was the one who suggested a lot of these these burn mechanics in the DNA channel. I think a lot of these ideas are great, and we anticipate that after governance form is live, we will be implementing the top few voted on suggestions.
Awesome. Yes, definitely. The supply of augments is something we're watching, but I definitely wanted to emphasize that the supply of current augments is almost not. It's not even enough for everybody in the game to have two. When will we remove, meaning the spot can be empty or invisible augments in place for those of us who want pets without wings, etc.? Amethyst, GOE. GOE's coming in really strong on these questions right now. Amethyst, GOE, when can we remove augments? Ben or Albert, or I can take it.
Yeah, you can answer this, Jay.
So removing augments, it's funny. It's a funny thing. My wife actually has been complaining to me since day one of playing Genopets that her Genesis Genopet has too many things, and she wants it to just be a pure, clean one with nothing on it, which I do think is something that some of us may visually prefer. We are going to add the feature and the ability to remove augments. It'll happen out of the app. Like, look for it. It's already being worked on. I think the idea there, though, is like you'd pull your augments off so you can have a clean look, but then you equip different augments and sets of augments when you go into battle or when you're going to a race, so that you have different loadouts, essentially, the way you would a character in an RPG game. So it'll be fun. It's definitely coming. Next one. Okay, let's talk about battle a little bit more then. Are there skills and abilities in battle? Also, what kind of enhancement effect does wearing an augment have? This came from Steed AW Swap 8755. Can we talk about skills and attributes and stats just a little bit more?
Sure. Ben, you want to
Either of you?
Go ahead.
Sure. What I can say is that we're going to be announcing the specific stats pretty soon, very soon. They've all been defined. In the context of battle, what we can say, we're loading it into our engine and we're testing them out right now. We have what I can say, we have attack, we have defense, and we have speed, and we're also including a stat called bond, which has to do with the way that you take care of your pet and how consistent you are in taking care of your pet. All of these things will play a role in battle and in step battle as well. I don't know to what level of detail beyond that I want to talk about right now, but keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, we'll definitely have whole announcements.
Yeah,
it'll be on that coming soon.
Yeah, we're going to be talking very deep about it. So just know that, it exists.
Interesting. I like this one. Okay, someone asked a question about the future of gym battles like Pokemon Go had, where people can battle to reclaim title of gym leader or something like that, and collecting badges. I definitely don't think we're gonna have gyms, but Ben did have an idea of like places you'll travel in the world and how we'll have various competitions there. But can we touch on battle badges, and like streaks and what we're thinking about the first iteration of badges? Because I think that's actually going to land in the road to market.
Yeah, phase 2 is has achievements.
Achievements.
I can speak to this. Basically, one of the mechanics in the mobile app that we want to, taking one step back, Genopets has always been about an app that encourages good habits. We, as opposed to most games which make a habit out of your gameplay, we want the gameplay to enhance habits that you already want to improve. And because of that, we will be introducing something called streaks, which are achievements. Examples are like streaks of how many days you've banked your step, period, and then how many days you've reached your step goal. And with that, we'll start to have streak leaderboards, which will lead to more exciting competitive play. And this is when we say in phase 2 that one of the things that we have remaining is achievements. This is what we're talking about. It will likely be added to the road to market roadmap as well. Yep. Any other questions, Jay?
Let's jump on to more. Sorry, I was in Discord making a joke about streaking in quads. Old school. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. Okay, let's do one more. Maybe we can do two more. We have 3 more minutes. Will we get a variety of mini games that differ depending on toys? Like a rhythm game for maracas or spinning game for spinners, or the same game for all toys? Okay, this is kind of. Are there going to be games with toys? I think we could talk about mini games in general, because mini games definitely something Ben's been thinking about a lot. I don't know how they tie into toys, but I don't know, Ben or Albert, if you guys have thoughts on this one.
Well, I don't know how Albert wants to talk about it. The way I want to talk about it is I would like to just tease people a little bit. We do want to do something along those lines, and we have some really fun ideas cooking, and would love to share them with you at a certain time, not too far from now. But definitely, mini games are on our mind.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mini
that
games
one
are
was
definitely in my
from
mind. Mm-hmm.
mini games. Actually, I can't even say. I know you on Discord, but I definitely can't say your
Yeah,
name
it's
because
like
you use
these
crazy characters.
strange characters. Yeah, but it's like SY something number 1961. You can just paste it or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the last winner. But yeah, anything
yeah.
else on mini games, Albert, or I can
Nope. Go ahead.
close this out here. Awesome. Yeah, mini games are gonna be really fun. We've been thinking about lots of ways to pull that into the mobile app. I think it'll be cool because it's gonna be one of the first, other than feed and fetch, one of the first things you can do in the game that isn't like wholly dependent on your walking. We may tie energy into it in some ways, but yeah, there's gonna be a lot more there. Cool. Just looking at other questions here. We have 1 more minute, so maybe we'll call one more. Does anybody see a question that they really want to answer? Two is on the road. Okay, I'm not seeing a question that I love right now.
I can
Let's just
answer
end.
one.
Yeah, you go.
I have one question. This is from Ma Malu. I think it's from YouTube. It says, except counting steps, any thoughts on expanding the mode to more like physical fitness, other activities like shooting balls or measuring speed? This has been talked about a lot internally, and we have potential solutions for at least with the ball shooting. I like this one because you mentioned the ball shooting one. We have a tentative partnership with a company that actually does like basketball movements called Next Games. They have an SDK for computer vision where you can do like push-ups or any kind of things, and through the computer vision you can actually those activities can be recorded. Now, because we're a mobile game as on a phone, it's actually way harder for the experience. So this is now on hold, but it's been something that we've been talking about internally and as well with partners. So probably not going to be on this roadmap, but for phase 3, we can definitely revisit.
Awesome. I didn't catch who asked that one. Who did you catch
It's
it, Albert?
Mamalu. Mamalu.
Mamalu.
Mamalu.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
this four name's the same.
Closing out, I do know that name on the server too. Closing out here, reminder, follow us on TikTok, Genopets TikTok. I think we made like 30 or 40 videos already that are just going to drop as soon as we launch the TikTok. So stick around for that. It's going to be really fun. If I'm being really honest, I'm not a huge TikToker, but TikTok like makes for really great like content for Genopets is the way the app looks and works, and I'm really excited to explore that. We'll be picking a Bitcoin baby winner from TikTok. Congrats, Aditya. Oh no, wait, Azrael. Who won the first Bitcoin baby? I'm forgetting right now. Azrael. For being the first Bitcoin baby winner. Everyone else that answered questions, you'll be getting an Augment. It is the same person. I just realized that.
There's too many.
Everyone who got a question answered will also be getting an augment. Stick around in the server for that. Find a mod, get us your wallet addresses. And is that it? Should we bring up the last road? The road to market is coming next. Look out for that on Twitter. We'll update with a lot of details there. There will definitely be a few surprises along the road. So when you see that graphic drop, pay attention and look closely. There will be more fun in store. Thank you everyone for being here, for showing up. It's been fun. I'll announce my steps on the server right after this, so go to Discord if you're not there.
Thanks guys.
See you next.
Okay, bye.